Hi everyone, this is Charm again from Ready to Adult Philippines, a channel about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and adulting how-tos. This video is gonna be of a class I did a few weeks ago. I'm redoing it, but I'm still giving you the class setup so that you feel like you're still part of that class. I hope you enjoy this video, and it's about the 6 steps on how to start a business. Good evening everyone. This class is about igniting your idea. If you guys are not familiar with what I do, I like introducing it as I'm in the business of encouraging business. Before we head on to the 6 steps of how to start a business, I want you guys to understand first the different types of businesses. This is oversimplified, but I hope you get the idea. First, we have the product and the service. Products are when you sell, for example, groceries. The service there is when you are delivering groceries to other people. And both products and services can be sold either in physical form or in digital form. So when you sell physically, you might have a store or a stall, but when you sell digitally, maybe you have an online grocery store, or maybe you're also selling digital products like an ebook or a video course. So these types of businesses can be paired in any way. Okay, for the 6 steps of starting a business, number 1 is that eureka moment. That eureka moment is basically when you have found a problem and you want to present a solution, again in the form of a product or service. You might be wondering if starting a business is easy, and I'm here to tell you that sadly, starting a business is not easy. But starting a business is really simple. It's really simple because all you really have to do is start. I know it's not mind-blowing, but it's the most crucial step when you start a business. That first step is actually really important because it shows how serious you are about starting that business. When you already have your idea and you're starting to develop that idea, here is a reminder. Ideas are worth nothing. Sadly, if you stay on the first step, no matter how important the first step is, you're not gonna go anywhere. So if you keep your idea just as that, an idea, well, you can't really make a business out of that. And when you already have all of these ideas, don't forget to pin them. This is my preferred mode of pinning. I use a Pinterest board, but I used to have a vision board. But it depends with you. You can jot it down in a notepad, you can write it in a notebook, you can pin some pictures, maybe on Pinterest or in real life, cut out magazine, or you can pin them in a cork board. So the important thing there is to not forget these ideas. Because when you feel like you're ready to develop these ideas, it's important and it's very beneficial for you to be able to skim through all of those past ideas that you have. Okay, number 2 is business development. Business development, basically you have to research, learn, and plan. So you can research through product development. You can research if there are similar products out there in the market currently. You can research how it's done, how it's sold, how it's being marketed. And then next is you have to learn. You have to identify and learn who your target market is. When you're starting a business, it's usually advised to target a niche market first before growing and accommodating everyone else. So identifying your target market will really help you figure out who your end users are, and you can improve your products and services from there. So when you've researched and learned, next is to plan. Plan by setting goals. Set goals where you want to be in your business. They can be financial goals, they can be in terms of growth, they can be in terms of how many employees you have, how many products you're shipping or you're producing. It can be anything. Just remember when you've already hit that goal to make a goal that's higher than that before. Okay, so and then if you've reached that goal as well, then aim for another higher goal again. Making a business, it's not a one finish line kind of thing. You have to constantly try to improve and try to grow your business and adapt it to how our environment is changing. Okay, so number 3 is to sell your idea. Now that you've already had an idea and you've already tried to develop your idea, next is to sell this. And when I say sell your idea, I don't mean go ahead and, sell the physical product right ahead. Selling your idea is basically the first step to testing the waters if there's really a market for it and there's a demand for it. So it's a what if, right? Here is how we sold the idea of our first business, Pop District Bazaar. It's a very simple poster, some lights, some string lights. It says Pop District Bazaar, the venue, and then September 2015. It didn't even have the complete details yet because we were just testing out the waters. Another way that you can test your idea is similar to what platforms like Kickstarter and Sparkit Philippines are doing. It's where you can post photos and videos of a prototype of your product. So the thing there is you have to perfect a prototype. And from there, you can ask for pre-orders. You can ask like a 50% down payment. And that's one of the things that you can do so that you can start a business with low capital costs. Another way of trying to sell your ideas is if you try to talk to your friends, to your family, see what they think about your idea, right? Maybe they think it needs some tweaking, maybe they think it's great. Either way, take it as constructive criticism because they might be your target market. They might be the people who are purchasing your products or availing your services, and these comments are really important for your growth. Okay, so number 4, branding is key. Branding is not just your logo. Branding is how you market your products and services. Branding is design. Branding is how you strategize. Branding is advertising, and branding is identity. Okay, so it's a misconception that branding is just plainly your logo. It encompasses everything. Okay, and then it transitions to everything else. So for example, you have an online shop and you are selling eco-friendly products. Would it make sense for you to put your products in a plastic bag and then give it to your customer every time they buy? No, right? It doesn't make much sense, and it doesn't align to your advocacy as a business. So that's part of branding. Use a paper bag instead because that's what you're advocating for. Because people will immediately know if you're just trying to ride on a trend or you truly know and care about what you are selling or what your service is. Here's a quick interactive bit. If I were to tell you that both of these coffee cups are 150 pesos, which would you choose? The one in a styrofoam cup or the one in a black paper cup that says coffee is like a hug in a mug? Okay, so you can answer over at the tab. Which is it, A or B? And I assume that most of you guys would be saying B, considering they're at the same price point and one of them looks much better than the other. What if I were to tell you that this coffee in a styrofoam cup is actually drip coffee or, specialty coffee, which we know is harder to make, so it's more expensive, so the owner didn't really bother with the design anymore. And this other cup of coffee is a 3-in-1 coffee, right? Okay, so just a disclaimer, I'm not telling you guys to fool your clients and your customers because the tendency is they're not gonna come back anymore. What I'm telling you guys is that visual perception is the very first sense that people use when they interact with your product or your service, especially if it's online, right? They can't smell your coffee online, they can just see the picture. That's why branding and marketing is really important, especially nowadays. Even if you're a traditional type of business, even if you're a B2B or a B2C type of business, all businesses will benefit from having a good branding, marketing, and even to the point of social media presence, right? So yeah. Number 5 is to plan your finances. Okay? I'm not gonna dive too deep into this because I also did a class on business finance and I'm also gonna upload that. But basically, make sure you're not in the business of losing money. There's a lot of free templates online. These are some from Google Sheets. They're free templates and you can practically handle small business finances similar to how you handle your personal finances. You have set aside money for emergency funds, you set aside money for growing your company first before you budget for how much you can spend on office or how much you can spend on shipping and etc. Right? Okay, so here are some basic business finance practices that maybe you can apply right now. Okay, first is take everything into account. So for example, you're baking cookies, most of us will just be computing the ingredients, the flour, the sugar, the egg, but we don't take into account the electricity that we're using, the gasoline of us buying the ingredients in the grocery store, the Wi-Fi we use to, search recipes online and to communicate to customers. If all your transactions are done online, then you should also take into consideration your use of internet or your mobile load or data, right? Okay, so take everything into account, not just what's in face value, what you can see, but everything also in the back end. And next is don't take everything for your account. Okay, see what I did there? What that means is when you're still trying to start your business, try to grow your capital first. For a couple of months, don't touch what the business profits and then just pour it back into the business and buy more supplies, buy more equipment, etc. As much as possible, let your business grow first before you start taking a lot for yourself. Okay? Next is to have an emergency fund. I mentioned this earlier, but basically a business is very similar to personal finance. Have an emergency fund because similar to what's happening right now with the lockdown, we never know what's gonna happen. We might have some rainy days where we still have overheads to spend for but not as much income are coming in. Okay, so as a business, also have an emergency fund. Okay, last but not the least is continuity. Don't lose their attention. If you're a new business and you've experienced a surge of customers and a surge of attention, your goal is to keep them there, keep them interested, keep them wanting to have more of your products or wanting to keep getting you for your services. Okay, so we as humans are very easily bored. So the idea there is to not lose their attention. Continue innovating, continue growing. So for example here, we have the Coca-Cola company. Okay, so as you can see, Coca-Cola has been around for more than 100 years. But as simple as their logo, they kept innovating it. From 1886 to today, their logo has gone through different variations and different tweaks, right? And also not just their logo, also their very famous bottle. It didn't used to be the sexy bottle that we know today. It used to be really simple, and they kept innovating it, giving people something to get excited about, giving people improvements and innovation. As a big company as Coca-Cola, they're even trying to grow and innovate. What more for a small business like us? Okay, so I hope you learn a few things about starting a business in this video. Just to summarize, these are the 6 steps you can do when you want to start a business. Brainstorm for an idea, or when you have that idea, pin it, and then research, learn, and plan, and develop your idea. And then when you're ready, sell your products or services. But if you're not, sell your idea. sell that what if there was a product that can do this, that can do that, okay? And then next, when you've already been trying to sell your products, brand your company well, brand your business well. Especially in the age of social media, branding and marketing is really, really important. Okay? And then next, don't forget to take care of your finances. Make sure you're not in the business of losing money. You might think that, oh, as long as I have more orders, I'm gonna make up for my negative 10 cents per sale. It doesn't work like that, okay? So make sure your finances are all good. And then lastly, continue. Continue and innovate and grow and try to achieve a bigger goal. And yeah, that's it for the 6 steps of how to start a business. I also want to share to you guys how you can register your business. It's basically dealing with 3 agencies. When you're in the Philippines, you have to register your name, which is under DTI or SEC. And then you can get your business permits at barangays or city halls. And then you can register for tax compliance with the BIR. I can make a separate video out of this where I can really explain to you guys the steps, but that's the summary for now. And I hope you learned something with this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to check out my other videos about entrepreneurship and business over at the playlist. And you can also check out the personal finance playlist. So I'm reminding you guys that adulting's already hard, but finance doesn't have to be. So check out my other videos. Again, this has been Charm from Ready to Adult Philippines, and I will see you on my next video.